Good morning to you. Welcome back to the Morning Minute Meditation. I appreciate you joining me for the ride this morning. 1 Samuel 15:23. The context is that of Saul going after the Amalekites at the direction of God. When he gets there, he doesn't fully obey God and he gets in trouble for his lack of obedience. Now, in our text, Samuel is rebuking him, and he makes this statement. He said that rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. And then here's our word for the day, stubbornness. Stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Iniquity is willful sin, and idolatry is pushing God aside and allowing something else to take his place. In other words, stubbornness is a pretty big deal with God. We kind of joke about people being stubborn and hard-headed, and we call them hard-headed people, and we laugh about it. But in the economy of God, that's serious business with God. In other words, your stubbornness becomes the God of your life. In the book of Psalms, in chapter number 81, in verse 11 and 12, the psalmist is writing about Israel's experience with God in the wilderness. And God said this of them. He said, "My people would not hearken to my voice, and Israel would none of me. And therefore," he said, "this is what I did. So I gave them up to their own heart's lust, and I let them walk in their own counsel." In other words, he said, if you want your way, I'll give you your way, and you can eat the fruit of your own way, and you won't be pleased once you have partaken of the garden of your own doing. Well, the children of Israel learned that lesson the hard way, thousands and thousands of them lying dead in the wilderness. You see, stubbornness really gets in the way. The story is told of an old mariner who loved to go to sea, an old fisherman, but he kept getting lost. He'd get lost nearly every time out, and his friends would have to sail back out after they'd cleaned their gear to find the old coot and bring him back in to shore. Well, they decided to get together and spend their money and get him a compass, and they did. And so he decided to go out the first time with a compass. He was going to take that thing and do something with it. And so he went out to sea and sure enough got lost again, and his friends went out and found him, and disgusted, they brought him back in and said, "Why did you not use the compass?" He said, "I did use that blame thing." And he said, "I kept trying to go north and it was pointing southeast, and every way I would turn it, it would just keep pointing southeast. I figured the thing was broke." And he said, "I just threw it away." Isn't that what we do? We receive direction and leadership from the Lord in various ways, and since it doesn't meet our own criteria of what we think things ought to be and how we ought to do things, we just throw away God's word and good advice and do it on our own and reap the benefits of our own stupidity. Hey, stubbornness and stupidity go hand in hand. Hey, think on these things today, my friend, and have a great day, minus the stupidity.